Holy shitballs, right? I am so excited. I can't even find the words. Oh my God. So I was going to do some videos this morning and I woke up with a few in my mind about what I was going to do. So I started sitting and I was planning away. And then there was a knock at the front door. Dun, dun, dun. So I went running downstairs and I got this. And then when I opened it, it's my book. Oh my God, can you believe it? Look, here it is in all its beauty. It's my neck. Look, it's even got it on the spine and everything. It's my book, like a proper version of it. And it's got so much stuff in it. So it's got, privacy information about keeping the book private, because obviously it's got your person's private information in it. It's got, recording medication and dosages for your person. It's got what treatments you've done so far and how effective they've been. It's got current symptoms tracker, so you can keep an eye on what their symptoms are. It's got a whole section for preparing for medical appointments. It's so hard for me to show you, look. Preparing for medical appointments, what to do before the appointment, during the appointment and after. It's got, medication review information. So you can then start preparing for medication reviews. It gives you all the different questions that you could ask in case, just so that you can remember what you need to ask and that kind of thing. And we've also got how to be an effective appointment companion and rights and responsibilities. So this is for the carer and for your person. So what your rights are, what you need to be responsible for, just so that you're aware from a legal perspective what we're supposed to be staying on top of. Then there's a whole section for recording all your important contacts. So they're like your emergency contacts and that kind of thing. And this book can go with your person. Obviously, if you haven't put any of your personal information, or if you don't mind sharing your personal stuff when we get to that element, but this can all go with your person if they're going to hospital or whatever. We've got tells, tics and triggers, which are really important because that could be a way of seeing whether your person is declining. And then also a section for your own personal triggers, because things trigger us as much as they do our person. And if we recognise what they are, we can communicate them and make sure. You have to excuse the noise as well. They're doing work next door. Then I've got things like tools to help. So I've got, look at that, look, my thermometer, if you needed that. Or if a thermometer's too much of an issue, you can do just simple dots to help your person, if they're non-verbal, tell you how they're feeling for that particular point in time. And then we've got the flow chart, which is what Travis uses, my son. That's how we communicate. We have like a mental flow chart that we go through to see what it is that he needs, because sometimes when you ask questions, and I'm really sorry I'm babbling at you, but I'm just so excited. Sometimes when you ask someone, especially with mental health issues, what it is that what they want, it's too big a question. There's too many things going on in their mind and they can't narrow it down. So the flow chart helps you know, are you hungry, yes or no? If it's yes, then we go this way. If it's no, then we go this way. It's that kind of stuff. Then we've got about gratitude journals and a little 1-minute meditation in there that anyone could do, us carers as much as our people, because we get anxiety as well, you know, with things that are going on, especially when our loved one is really poorly, and grounding, how important grounding is. And then we've got creating a plan and developing a plan for your loved one. So one, your loved one is in a good place. This plan, you can put it together while they're okay, so that when they're not okay, you've got something there that you can rely on that's written by them. So if there's particular things that make them feel better, for example, making a note of those things that bring them comfort, make a note of it, prepare for it, so that if they do become poorly, you've already got a plan in mind, and it's a little bit easier for you to also give that plan to somebody else if you need to. Like if you need to have someone come in to look after them while you're at work or whatever. Then I've got loads of terms to Google. So these are quite good. So just because there's only counselling and stuff on the NHS, there are a whole plethora and there are pages of different terms that you can Google for different treatments. And some of them might be useful for you to try. If you've tried everything else, this might be another avenue to try. And I've got a little section for you to write down who you're ringing, what it is that they do, whether you've booked an appointment with them or not, what they offer, that kind of stuff. And then we've got creating a hospitalisation plan. So if, you know, the worst happens to your person has to go into hospital for whatever reason, this will help you put things together. So there's a nice easy flow chart for before, during and after they go into hospital. And then there's the actual plan itself. So putting things together. So who are their emergency contacts? Who do you need to call for them to let them know that they've gone into hospital? If they own their own house, reminding you to take care of any pets they might have, or, you know, making sure everything's locked up, or taking care of their children. Whether you need a power of attorney for whatever reason, and where that is, if there's a will, wherever that's kept. All that kind of information can go in here. What bills need to be paid, because we often forget about that when people go into hospital, that they still have financial obligations. So if we know that, we can prepare and make sure that they're all taken care of. And also, if they're on any benefits, who is it that we need to contact and let them know that they've got into hospital, because they may not be able to vocalise that themselves. So as their carer, it's nice for us to be prepared, so that we can help them as much as we can and take some of that fear and anxiety away. I've also got like a little tick list of things that you can pack, with lots of space for you to write your own bits and pieces in for your person. And then we have a journal for the journey. So what the journal for the journey is something you'll fill in every 3 months that monitors how your person is doing on that particular day. So then you can refer back to 3 months ago and see if there's been any decline or any improvement. Because it's nice to celebrate the little wins as well as the big wins, right? And sometimes just by, you know, we don't always notice that things are changing and getting better or getting worse, because sometimes it's so gradual. But when it's a gradual win, it's still a win. And we need to make sure that we are celebrating that as much as possible. So, yep, so we've got that in here as well. And then we've also got all about us as the carers. Oh, nearly chucked my phone on the floor. So the first section is about boundaries. Boundaries are so important, as you've probably seen my little video about boundaries. Make sure you have them in place. Self-care, also incredibly important. Always make time for you. I know it's really difficult and you've got a billion things going on and a billion things in your head, but it's you. If you break, you can't help your person. So you need to make sure that you take care of you. You are just as important as they are, because without you, they don't have their safe person. They don't have their safe space. It's so important. So please look after yourselves. And also we've got a section on acknowledging how we actually feel about everything, because we don't always consider our feelings in what's going on, because obviously it's all about our person, right? But we have feelings as well. And what this could do, what this can help with, this how do we feel section, is I would always encourage us to go for counselling ourselves. I know it's our person that has the mental health issues, but watching someone you love go through those sorts of things is traumatic, right? And it invokes a lot of things in us, and we carry that with us, and we need to learn to let those things go. And I'm always a great believer in leading by example. So I do a lot of healing work on myself. I've got my own tools that I use to try and help me isolate what it is that I'm feeling, work through it, and, you know, release it. So I've got my whole own rituals and stuff that I do. Whatever that looks like for you is also incredibly important. And what that does, I think, is if you're brave enough and open enough to go and get counselling or therapy or whatever it is that you need, it takes some of that fear from your person, because if they see you doing it and you're okay, maybe they'll think, well, actually, if they can do it, I can do it. So we lead by example. We try to better ourselves to show them that they can better themselves as well, and that they're able to, put themselves in that position and go and not be afraid. Because especially with mental health, it's actually really quite frightening for the person, because when you talk about going for therapy and for counselling, it's like they've got to then visit the darkest recesses of their mind. They've got to revisit the trauma and work through that again. And they don't want to. The whole point of them having these things in place, this fight or flight, which is causing a lot of the mental health issues, is because they're trying to bury that. They don't want to remember it. And it's such a difficult thing for them to be able to take that step without seeing what that's like. It's the unknown. It's so frightening. So I would always encourage us to do what we can to help heal ourselves, because then that might sort of, pass on to our person. But yeah, so this is now available to buy. Well, it's been available to buy for about 2 weeks now. So if you know anyone that's a carer and you think this would really help them, it's written from a mental health perspective, but actually it will help any carer take care of their person and themselves. The tools in there are obviously more for mental health, but there are other things in here that would just be so useful for any carer. So, get one for Christmas. They'll probably punch you in the face because it's not the sort of thing you get people for Christmas, but, it might be a good idea. Who knows? But yeah, it's out now. I'll put the link in the comments, and I'm just so proud of it. I can't tell you, I'm so excited. I absolutely love it. It's turned out so much better than I could possibly expect. It was honestly, I can't tell you how happy I am. I'm just like a dog with two tails. See, I'm polite. I'm a good girl. See you later.